The zoning board of town of Canandaigua to order. We'll begin with a pledge of allegiance to the flag and then a moment of silence for our troops. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, just go a little bit through our procedures here. A person requesting a variance will present to us the reason for their variance. After they've presented the information and we've questioned the applicant, and they're satisfied with what's been presented, I will then ask if there are any questions or comments from the audience, either here or at home. After that, then if the applicant's comfortable with all that's been discussed, we can close the public hearing. The public hearing's closed. We have 62 days to make a decision. Typically, we'll make it on the night it's presented. If the applicant and the board feel that it would be helpful to continue the public hearing and get additional information, we can do that as well. Okay. First one is 5625 Bunnell Road, Travis Woolley. Applicant is requesting an area variance for lot area where 1.3 acres is proposed and 3 acres is required. The variance is granted, a subdivision application will follow.
Travis Woolley.
Back
Place.
Yes.
So we should have hopefully the correct drawing. There we go. We couldn't find the last month's meeting. There was a revised lot shape from our meeting 2 months ago.
Right.
Requested. So this is what we're asking for. A smaller parcel than the required R3, so we can preserve the farmland around it. And my argument was that there's so many of our 30,000 square foot lots nearby, and we had all 10 neighbors sign that they were okay with this. This is what we're proposing that you'd consider for a subdivision to be approved for her. If it was, then we move forward to the survey and all the formalities.
What's the parent parcel here?
It's
Should it visible?
it's this 7 acres. This is a separate parcel. Over there.
And then R130 starts at the straight line, assuming.
Yeah.
I didn't see any further neighbor comments.
No.
Since we were here. I didn't see anything new. Anybody have any questions? We mainly put this up because I didn't advertise for a slightly larger lot.
Requisite frontage to put another lot to the right.
To do the remaining parcel here would be 6.1 acres. So there would be the frontage with this lot. It could be if we were to subdivide it, but realistically, it's probably not as.
No, I'm saying that they make another lot
On the other side of the
out
road,
to the right.
no, it would need variances.
Okay.
What is your right?
Over here?
Yeah, this is just field pay lot. Pay lot all through here. And this is Comcast direct.
Is there anyone in the audience has any questions or comments? Okay.
I have a question. So what is this getting you? Because realistically, if you go to, you're gonna be able to maybe get 3 lots out of you're at the most, looks like 2.
Two, if we subdivide, but I'm not looking to subdivide.
Well, I understand that, but I'm looking at the 7 acres.
Sure.
And you do have a problem because you're next to a hamlet with an agricultural area right next to it. And again, I don't care where you go, you're gonna see that difference whether it was the city of Canandaigua or Cheshire. But what I'm trying to find out is what advantage realistically to me, this is 2 lots. If you were to split that in half, which is, I mean, if you get 1 acre, you're still, unless we go ahead or you get a variance to go 1 acre on all the rest of them. Is that what your intent is down the line? Or I just don't see what the advantage is to not keep this as it is with 3
Sure.
acres. So,
Intent, downline, maintain as is. Eventually, who knows how far down the road, right? Like grandma's estate would go to my mom and her aunt. Eventually, then it would go to the grandkids. So when it goes to the grandkids, theoretically, it could be 3 lots. So each grandkid would get a lot. Obviously, I would try to buy all of them to keep them all. But from the state, but that's originally grandma wanted everyone to have a piece.
Okay.
Also,
Yes, there's a letter that should be attached here. From all the neighbors.
also, I guess theoretically, you could sell that 1.3 acre lot and still farm around it.
Yes, the goal. There's a lot of tax implications, right? So I think we figured out.
Yeah.
We're gonna sell it, the house, to pay for grandma's stay for ourselves. Now it's kind of changed where we can't sell it till right after she passes, but that's the goal. Her house has to sell for the estate, to be able to save the farmland from.
so my question is that if we grant this variance,
Yes.
then the remaining portion of that, it's gonna be difficult for us to not come in here and say, well, they're all gonna be limited to 1.04 acres. They certainly could go for that variance, and we've already established a precedence of doing that for this lot. And that's my concern, obviously, on this is, and it looks like there's a lot of other lots real close by to this as well, then,
I guess I'm trying to follow, because if this happened, I guess I don't see where the 1.3 acre lots are, like if that lot was divided, it would be divided in 2. And they both be 3 acres or more, which would meet the.
Exactly.
Zoning.
But if we go ahead and we grant this variance to you, and then all of a sudden, then you've got the capabilities with, in essence, you've got almost 6 acres here left.
So if you grant the variance to subdivide this one, that's automatically saying that I could divide the whole other thing?
No,
Well, I wouldn't
it's
do,
gonna,
but-
it's gonna be very difficult for us to say no, or any of the future zoning boards to say, well, they also would like to have 1 acre instead of 3. And, the difficulty that we face as a board, we're looking at the code. And why was the code established as it did? And you're looking at, it is very difficult. You look next door and you say, well, what's the problem here? Well, this is my issue on it, is if we go ahead and grant this variance, then down the line, it's gonna be difficult for the remaining portion, or whoever it ends up with it, whether you sell it, for us to be able to say, or whoever's on the board to say, no, we're not gonna grant a variance to that. Well, you granted a variance before on it.
I understand what you're saying, I guess that's up to you, I guess I'd look at each issue as different and you can vote.
Well, I'm just
for what you
interested
want.
in your comment on it, and you can see my predicament. I don't know how the rest of the board feels on it,
That's fine,
but
I understand, appreciate it.
We also had a recommendation from the planning board, I believe, to square it off to 1 acre.
Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken.
that's what the planning board recommended there.
To do that.
That's why.
Mhm.
Brought it down.
It's 1.33 originally. They wanted it a little more.
Right.
Close.
Can I make a quick comment on that? As Travis worked with the development team on this as well, a lot of consideration went into him being able to farm the land. But if they did have to sell out the homestead, all the farmland was still going to stay together. And that was something that the development team and the planning board was looking at to allow. So that doesn't answer your question, and I understand where you're coming from, but they were looking at it from a different goal of keeping farmland able to be farmed. if the homestead was sold off.
Well, if we were to approve it, I think one of the conditions or one of the reasons would be the preserve farm.
I understand what you're saying, but to me, whether it's farmland or it's woodland, it's the number of houses to me that's the issue. And I'm just saying, if the town wants to change codes and make this 1 acre or AR2 or whatever they want to do, I'll follow whatever the town wants me to do.
I mean, can we also condition it on further development not needing variance?
Yeah.
So that the next, if he wants to do 2 lots there, that they would have to meet code.
Well, you might have definitely. Just eyeballing it, I don't think you could fit. Another 2 lots. Maybe,
Most of that.
yeah, no, I'm thinking frontage.
Oh, yeah, frontage would be difficult, we'd have to have variances for them.
Yeah, and then, in all honesty, the stream there, so you need your 100-foot setback for, so technically, it probably wouldn't be able to be buildable for the one on the right, 230, but by keeping them together, right? Also, so I don't really see it ever being able to be 2 lots without a variance, but the water for the town comes up to here.
Stops there.
Stops. So by maintaining this, there's another avenue for water.
Looking at this, Mike, where is there opportunity for 3 more lots?
Yeah, only with variances.
With frontage variances, I think you could
Okay.
get
Might be,
One,
yeah,
2. You could get 3 additional 1 acre lots.
Okay.
Basically. Without the required, well, what's the minimum frontage?
Should probably,
225.
225.
225. Jeez,
And we weren't looking for 3 lots.
you could get 2 lots there, 2 additional lots easily.
Maybe with a variance for the one, maybe.
what is the frontage of the right hand side there?
I believe it's 170.
You could solve that for 2 lots by making a horseshoe around the existing parking space. Add up to
Right.
225, but that would be dumb and from a policy standpoint, I think you'd want that variance rather than having a horseshoe shaped lot for no apparent reason.
Also, to get a house a little further away from the stream, you probably have to drop the house back.
Yeah, oh, maybe at one point.
For sure, you have to be like back in here, variance coming in the entrance that way. If you're looking at that direction.
Is everyone okay with us closing the public hearing? You okay with that? We'll close the public hearing. We have 62 days to make a decision, but we'll typically make it tonight. Welcome to stay around. Well, you
Yeah,
stay
I'm
around.
after this.
So stay around anyway.
For the record, Kelly just joined. Kelly has joined.
Oh, yes. Hi, Kelly.
Sorry, I wasn't on time. I was running late.
No problem. All right. we'll go on.
Kelly, do you have any questions for?
Do you have any questions on what we just discussed? When did you?
I missed the first part of that. I was gonna ask it just to, as a refresher, I was gonna look at my notes real quick. But what was the reason? I know that he wanted to subdivide. What was the hardship? What is this self-created? I mean, what's kind of where I could use a quick summary.
Was to allow them to maintain which is the original house and land and the land around it, and then to be able to farm around it.
Okay,
All farmable.
all right, gotcha. I'm comfortable closing.
We'll close it again. Okay, sorry. Moving on to number 2 here, this is 4243 State Route 21 South. Grove Engineering, but it's also you.
Yes.
It's a variance. 10 foot side setback variance for a 10 foot is required and 0 is proposed for a driveway located where there's an existing road cut on the Keister Road. Converting an existing agricultural barn into a residence, I believe. Single family dwelling with associated improvements in the AR2 district.
Yep, so I can give you an update.
I think we had held off because of the DEC report.
Yes, and we're gonna have to hold up again and been getting in communication with them, but their answers are basically, you know, you're on the list and we'll get to it by the end of the season, I feel. But I'm still working diligently on it to establish that it's in the typical and informational wetland, not a regulated wetland. So we're going to request to push it another month and keep pressing it, but if I can, I'll give you an update of what's happened since then as well, in general. So I've gone to the property and I have taken the driveway under good consideration of suggestions. And I've pulled the whole driveway back a foot or more under my property line on my side. And I've had a professional survey go down and clean it every 100 feet, flag it. And then I've heavily seeded and strawed the whole side, so now it's all grown in grass. And I've taken the gate and pulled the gate over completely on the side, and the brush pile that was requested to be removed by the neighbor, I completely removed the brush pile. So I believe hopefully all those conditions are good and everything's well, other than we'll just wait for the DEC to give some responses, and so that's all I can share at the moment.
You said you moved it a foot. So
On my side there.
it'd be a 9 foot variance, then we'll use it instead of.
Yes, I don't know if there's pictures that were uploaded yet, or I sent it or not, but if not, you know, obviously the next meeting when I get DC approval of more uploaded ones to share, but.
So you won't be pushing for a 0 foot setback anymore?
No, and like I said, I appreciate the comments last time, and that did make a lot of sense, so. Go back to clearly show the defined it's online, but otherwise it's an ag driveway and.
Okay.
It's well where it can be and stay regardless of what. Our decisions are in the end, which I understand can go either way as well.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. If nobody's seen it yet, so we'll see. The pictures. Can't see the stakes at the moment from this view, there's other ones there are everything. The flags go out to here along showing this clearly over the side.
So, just so I'm clear.
Yeah.
Probably the point. The entire driveway is on your property?
Yes, yeah. Fully on the driveway, the whole way, all the way to the connection of where Keister Road now ends. Right.
Oh, okay.
That's correct, this was the old Keister road bed,
And then,
and I own half, and the Crawls own the other half. Once it was abandoned in the '70s and not fully adjusted on Encore till when I bought the property, and so therefore we were both bequeathed the land on either side. And you can see why I put it there. It was a road bed, and to go over 10 more feet just completely decimates the hedgerow and growth. And then on the other side is obviously my hay lot, and I wanted to maintain that and not lose another 0.3 acres for another driveway. And so I put the road in here when I first bought the property because it was gonna be farmland, and then I since have changed my direction.
I guess the question would be, I mean, I don't have any problem in continuing it. But I guess. Knowing the DEC, they may not have anything next month either, and I guess in this situation, I'm comfortable with just putting it off monthly. If I need to.
Or till like I'd say I have an answer and then you put it back on. Is that easier or is that not?
either way, but I
So
don't think you
waste
need
your
to
time.
show up every time unless you want to.
Well, I just don't want to waste everyone's time, you know, thinking and then.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable putting it off indefinitely until Travis notifies the development office.
Okay.
Since
Otherwise,
they
just put it right back
meeting
at the
now,
top.
it's advertised, so when we have to release advertised.
No, then just leave it on the agenda. Open the public hearing, continue the public hearing for each month. But you don't have to come, I don't think.
Let us know.
Communicate with Mike and
Okay.
keep him apprised of where you are.
Okay, understood.
I've been working with Travis on this and he's been keeping me informed with the DEC, so I can definitely keep the board informed. I also went out there with the town drone and did some flyovers so that you guys can see the well, this existing site as it is right now. Tim, if you pull up the one at 3:52 p.m. Over at the existing site. It's on, I think, we'll find out here in a second. And of the whole site, and you can see how that driveway has been pulled back, all the way back, so. And it's now completely on his property. But there is a video in there also, if you guys would like to view it, of the drone going up the whole driveway, which shows all the flags that Travis talked about.
It's too large for me to download.
If I'm not mistaken, the neighbor is here now. Maybe we should hear from him what, if we're gonna continue it.
Yeah, no, we should, yeah.
All set?
Yep.
Yes, thank you.
Nick was on her. Thank you, I appreciate it. I got some handouts with some pictures. Thanks. Sorry, I don't have an electronic form. So I'm here again, want to show that I'm objecting to the request for this to be a residential driveway, also for the residential building on multiple reasons. Travis Woolley has installed last year driveway which ran onto our property, blurring the property line under false pretense for the agricultural use, never abiding by residential setback rules for residential building. I did serve him back I mailed him back on May 28th, and it's actually the number 3. I mailed him a letter of correction. I will say he did get back into his property line. Although he has pulled back the driveway gravel on his property and the driveway gate, that driveway runs along the property line only 12 to 18 inches off the property line from the state. So I don't know if you got the picture, but actually if you go through the packet, you can see farther on, I do have pictures of the property markers that I took that run along the driveway. And there's one actually, if you look, there's one with a boot showing it's only a boot away from the property line, showing that it's right up near the property line. So in the reported May zoning board meeting, Travis did admit to building the unapproved driveway and building under the building itself under agricultural claims due to the fact he would not be able to complete it in the time restraints required for residential build, giving him freedom to do whatever he wanted at that time. So I find it ironic that he's never had any piece of farming equipment, livestock, or anything in that building up there. And he's still claiming that he's trying to change it from agricultural residential because he basically had the intent from the beginning to build it as residential. In addition to the admission, he built the unapproved driveway and part of the driveway gate onto my farm property. In addition to leaving a utility pole on the farm property, pressing on the property line, there is a memo that I sent to RG&E to cease and desist because he was trying to go over and drive power on our property and come over on the town. Since I served him, I said he did move it back, but we are nowhere near being 10 feet from that property line. Besides not creating a buffer at the property line, he has changed the terrain by having this driveway raised, placing a culvert pipe under the driveway to push water onto my family's property. So if you look, there's one picture in there about midway down the driveway. There is a culvert pipe he's stuck underneath. They raised the driveway. That used to be like a retaining area. It's this picture right here. So I just took a picture of it, but it pushes it right over because that property line, I'm only 12 inches from the culvert pipe that dumps onto us. And he backfilled that with dirt. You can actually see there's actually a mound in the picture. It's too hard, I'm sorry, I think it's too small. No, you can actually see he's got a mountain of dirt there where he's been backfilling to the right, to the south on the end. So besides that, the other issue I wanted to bring up was the fact, if you look near the driveway entrance, there's a backfill on Keister Ave that he's done right near the entrance. And there is a flow that goes down through the back end of Cheshire on the east side that goes behind all the houses. And I don't know if any of that's been taken care of for making sure that that culvert pipe and everything still flows down through that back area all the way back down through Cheshire. So just see if I got a picture of that entranceway. You see he's got a bunch of broken up, you can't find it offhand in here, but there's one piece where it shows the entrance. And right next to the entrance, it shows all that broken up piles of asphalt that he's been using to backfill this driveway. One of the things he claimed is he's installing this unapproved driveway over a pre-existing road base, but he's actually bulldozed out all the trees and created in the driveway, previously pushing trees onto our property, but he's creating a hedgerow previously for the two properties. If you look at the Google Earth, and I'm sorry because it's a little dark, but the very last page, you can actually see the tree lines that used to run between the two properties. And it's circled in red. So any claims that there was any pre-existing road there is obsolete due to the fact that there's no road base there, because we wouldn't have trees of maturity growing in that spot if you've had a hard dirt like that. So the other thing I want to bring to your attention to is in looking at this unapproved driveway, it runs along the property line, almost right at the property line. One could almost say that it's done purposely for the fact that this way this driveway has been created or put in is to allow for subdivision at a future date. Because if you come in and you do a driveway right along through here, this thing's about 800 feet coming back through here. It's a long thing. His building is back in here. But if you look at the way he constructed the driveway, when other people have only constructed and come down through here, he constructed right on the property line, and therefore he's waiting later on what it ultimately if somebody would do is probably subdivide all those off into lots and then give a right of way across the same driveway. Not that I can control what people do on their property and stuff, and I'm not trying to restrict them in that regards, but at the same time, like by not having this buffering area between us and not going by a variance of being 10 feet off the property line is, any kind of snow removal, all that's going to come over onto us. Everything's going to be pushed our way by that only 12 to 18 inch buffer. So that's one of the things that I was concerned about. I just want to say in closing, any issuance of any variance allowing things to be less than 10 feet from the property line would allow him to blur the property line. He's already crossed, representing a further infringement and disrespect for the rules of the zoning board. Because obviously this has been created since day one without any kind of zoning regard whatsoever. Due to the fact we got a building back in here. Actually, it's not even cited. If you look in there's pictures of it. It's not even cited. So I mean, the intent the whole time was to make it a residential building. So. Does anybody have any questions of me?
This is all AR2 left. It's AR2. That's correct.
My biggest concerns, one of the concerns I got too is this culvert we got in here. Because this used to be a pond, like a little retaining area, and what is a little retaining area. And the other thing I'm wondering about too, we're backfilling in here, and there is a natural flow that comes down through the back of Cheshire, goes all the way down behind all these houses down in Cheshire. I don't know if that would affect anything further down by like the fire department and stuff like that. And I don't know if this culvert pipe's is open or not, just because of all the backfilling that has occurred right up the Keister Ave.
I think the DEC report should
show that.
Some of those questions.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No?
Is that the town culvert?
It would be a town culvert. Yeah.
I think Jim.
It's right next to the water barn there.
Yeah, I think Jim would notice, would stop.
It's right in here. Then it comes over. So there used to be there's a retaining pond that's in here. That's super low right now. And this is all gotten backfilled. And there's about 3 or 4 piles of broken up asphalt. There's a dirt pile. There's some other stuff there.
Some debris.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Okay.
Thank you.
You have any further questions? Comments?
Questions, I can give comments.
We're going to spend a lot of time on this.
We'll be having continued public hearings. So
Continue, that's fine.
Yeah. We continue the public hearing.
We have to vote on that, or?
No,
I think the chair can do it.
I can just.
I've got the power, and that's with no objections.
Executive.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Next is Enrique, 2497 Rochester Point Road Drive. Multiple area variances. The applicant is requesting two variances related to placement of a shed in the front yard of a parcel located in the RLD district. Variance 1 seeks relief from the requirement that accessory structures be located in the side yard. Variance 2 seeks relief from the maximum permitted size of an accessory structure, which is limited to 100 square feet. Proposed shed measured 140 square feet, requiring a variance of 50 square feet. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Henry. So, the shed is pictured right there. I know there's a difference between what the town considers the front of the house and what living on the lake consider front of the house. So we have our garden right there. The shed, the proposed location for the shed is right between the side of our garage and our garden. And precedent for a building like that on that side of the road, directly across the lane from us, is a Morton pole barn. Right to our the other side of our driveway is a standalone garage that's part of the house there. So felt like this wouldn't be an issue being on that side of the house. It's the proposed shed is going to be built like the same colors as our house, went right in like next to our garage that way. As for the size, it's a 10 by 14. It's something we felt like we needed to put our gardening equipment in there, get it out of our garage, put it out into the shed. So that's the primary purpose of the shed. And it fits right in that little nestled area with the garage and the garden. That's about all we have to say on that.
There is 10 foot now between the garden and the garage.
Yeah, there's like 15 feet between the garage and this, so there's got a little bit of elbow room so we can get around. That's all.
I was over there today, a little bit hard to say how much.
Yeah, there's yeah. Originally, we were thinking about a 12 by 14, but that's too, it's too tight. We want to be able to get around. So.
You put the neighbor letter up, please. I'm gonna make you shed a little tears. I hope the town doesn't make you shed a lot of tears to get in the.
Yeah, right.
That's a great idea.
And they want to shed warming party as well.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So that's a condition we have to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get ready. Certainly have the shape of the lot and size of the lot certainly limits what you can do.
Correct. Yeah.
Pretty narrow, you know.
And we felt putting it there would be the least conspicuous location for it. It would, the colors are, the shade that we have had on order, now is color matched right to the match of our both the house and the trim. So it looks like it's all part of the same structure, to the best of our ability.
What about the size? You know, I mean, one of the variances is for size. Why does it need to be the size that you're requesting?
To be able to fit the our lawn mowing equipment and snow blower and other yard equipment in there. Yeah, just need the extra few feet.
Mike, under the code, could he add 140 square of feet to the garage there without a variance?
I think he still is under lot coverage on that one, from what I remember, so, yeah, if he just put the 100%, yeah. So he put the 140 added it to the garage.
We did look at that. We, as far as the size of our house, we are under more.
Is that something you considered before we talked about the shed?
We didn't want to go through the expense of adding onto the house. It would be significantly more expensive.
I guess the question for variance too is you say you need the extra 4 feet. For 4 feet, because if you were 10 by 10, you go.
Yeah, I know. We kind of need the extra 4 feet. Yeah, you got a 0-turn lawnmower, snow blower, and a bunch of other equipment that needs to fit in there. Sweet. Be able to get in there and move around.
Assuming you don't have a basement on your house.
House was built in the late 1800s. There's no basement. It's pure and deep.
So I'm sorry, you did review adding on to the garage? What was, I didn't quite fully hear that whole thing.
The cost to add on to the garage would be significantly more expensive than putting a prefabricated shed next to it.
Would you still need a variance?
No,
No, if it was added to the house, no.
I think the Chris isn't here right now, but I think the county said we should deny it.
They did. So we should say that.
But the county said they.
The county, yeah, I was not clear on there.
Yeah, that's
Sort of a funny,
they kind of had a.
we were at the county meeting
yeah,
and what they said to us was, it sounded okay to them, we'll let the town take care of it.
I think they said something like we purchased the whole county.
Yeah, that's exactly.
okay. Well, then, I just brought that up because if the county said we should deny it, then we would need a supermajority.
Yeah. Yeah, they did not say that while we were there.
They changed their RLP recommendation. This is RLP, right?
Yeah, it surprised me when I guess I was confused by the way they stated it.
Don't they always automatically recommend denial?
They have,
This one, I believe it's brought back to a local.
can you find that on there?
Yeah, it's right.
It's right there.
Towns across the
Encourage,
country, the new variance necessary
It was
to
a class,
these was.
and with a class 2. I get confused by somewhere they put a class as well.
New board,
Huh?
Yeah.
new board.
But what is their point about stamped engineered drawings though? Because originally
Oh, because
it's not a thing, so.
what?
Can you scroll up a little bit?
There's state education on too,
It's a violation of to use them for, like, to take a stamped drawing and modify it,
Well, that was us
it's like a
trying.
copyright type of infringement.
kind of.
Yeah.
Well, it's a licensure for infringement.
Something up above there, I thought where they had class.
Yeah, these are different. There's no recommendation of denial there.
No,
But
No recommendation at all.
well, Yeah,
Well, encourage some grant builders and variances.
without reasonable use of the lot, so you.
No official recommendation at all, yeah.
Sorry,
No official recommendation.
right. So I think simple majority would carry.
Yep.
Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Kelly, are you okay on this? Okay, you have no objection, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. If we have 62 days to come to a decision, likely we'll come to it tonight. You're welcome to stay around, or you can check with Mike in the morning.
I'll call in the morning. Yes, something to discuss. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, the next one is Jeremy Carlson, this is 2033 Stable Gate Drive. Applicant is requesting a variance related to the placement of a shed on a parcel located in the Stable Gate subdivision. The variance seeks relief from the minimum side setback requirement for structures, which requires a setback of 15 feet. Proposed shed is to be located 12 feet from the side lot line, requiring a 3-foot variance.
Good evening. My name is Jeremy. I live in Stablegate. I'm requesting the setback variance from the west property line. I have a letter in there from the neighbor to the west of me that I would primarily be in her view. Granting permission. The reason why I'm requesting in that spot, one, is the most level for putting the structure. But two, I have the survey from when I purchased the house in 2020, and it has setback variances at 10 feet. So I didn't foresee this being an issue. I set my gate on the fence that we had installed that summer. The first gate post is at 24 feet. So if I put a 12-foot shed in, it would be in front of my gate now. If I don't get a setback variance, I'm sure costing a 3-foot variance to put it in that corner and still stay far enough away from our property line, but even straight on with my double gate post.
That is flatter in the corner.
It is. The northeast corner kind of slopes off because here's the easement, the green space, that's where the technical term for it is. This is the green space easement that we own through the hedgerow, but I have a drainage basin right here at this corner, so the whole yard and everything kind of slopes off steeper in this corner. So I'd have to bring in a substantial amount of fill and retaining wall to level off to put it over there, so that's why I don't want to.
Do we know if those, like a couple of those other sheds or, accessories were permitted, or because I mean they have to be right on the line as well, I'm assuming from looking at this picture.
I can't speak for
Most of those are schools. Yeah.
Yeah, well, but if you see that one shed, I mean, my God, that's right on. If there was a fence there, it'd be right on it, right? Or it looks like that anyway.
So they would own this. That's just a green space easement. So the property line is over here. This is that fence line.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Back property line.
Right. I was talking about the rear
variance from the
setback.
back. I believe.
There's a conservation easement back there, but
Correct.
most people don't build back there. They don't want to build back there because we don't want them. But
Right.
so that line, it's basically where his fence is the imaginary line between his property and the conservation easement. So
Right.
he doesn't need a rear setback variance. Neither does that other shed on the other side. It's
Okay.
the side setback, but they
It's just the side we're looking at, huh?
Right.
Okay.
I mean, that pool right there, the round pool could be so
Yeah.
15 feet to the side, and that's the accessory structure. So the precedent
Well,
is.
and the decking on that one circular pool there too, to the very far, almost far right by the corner.
Yes.
Corner lot. Yeah, it looks like there's like a deck or something that's there that looks a little closer. I'm just trying to see if there's some sort of, established precedent already.
But that was gonna be my question. Was it rezoned since 2020 to change from a 10-foot setback to a 15?
It was zoned as a planned unit development. So those are different than the zoning that it's originally been in.
Okay.
So when they do a development, they get their own set of rules, and each phase has its own set of rules, so that's why it was different.
So the development side setback would be 10 feet,
No, it's 12.
it's 12 feet.
Oh, 15, I'm sorry, 15. Yeah, and he's looking for 12.
I foresaw putting a shed in the backyard and that, but my survey, it has a 10 foot and that's just what I was going off of. So I left enough room to put a 12 foot shed in there to get to my gate. And then when I applied for the building permit, I was advised it's a 15 foot setback, not 12.
So besides the gate, how big a hardship would it be to put that shed up and avoid the variance? Talking about a moving of 3 feet.
Right, it'd be just sitting in front of the gate. So I'd have to stay farther towards my house with the shed to leave room to get like through there with like the lawnmower and stuff like that.
Is there enough room to do that?
There could be, the shed would be more directly in the center of my yard,
Okay.
with it only being an
Just-
80 foot wide lot.
Anybody else have any questions?
Do we have anything from the neighbor that would affect the most?
Yeah.
Yes, the letter that we.
Oh, that was their letter. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the only one that would be in her
Okay,
eyesight or anything.
well, that's,
She was pretty positive. Anyone in the audience have any comments or questions on this application? Kelly, you good?
I'm good.
Okay. Are you satisfied with closing the public hearing?
Okay.
We have about 62 days to make a decision. If they do it tonight, you're welcome to stay around, or you can give Mike a call in the morning.
That's it. Thank you all.
It's up to them. Thanks. It's a big salon. Okay, next one is summer signs and designs, which 406, Route 5 and 20. The applicant's requesting a variance related to the installation of a building mounted commercial speed sign in the TC district. Variance seeks relief from the maximum permitted sign area, which is limited to 28 square feet. Proposed sign measures 46.01 square feet, requiring a variance of 18.01 square feet. This application is associated with CPN 26033 special use permit, seeking approval of a special use permit for the installation of a building mounted commercial speed sign.
They do. I'm just looking to put like a sign. I know like when I did with the sign company, they told me the same size that the code, like, you know, it's what is like in the code, same exact sign. But unfortunately, like, you know, Mike Murphy told me it's bigger than what like usually be. So I'm looking like it's that like approval, or I could just like, you know, get the letters smaller, like, you know, take something out.
Just observation I made, the script, the other, you know, the smoke shop and convenience script makes it pretty hard to read from back a ways.
Especially this plaza is like all the way in the back. It's not like the other plazas. There is like a Taco Bell, then that plaza is behind it. So it's hard to see from below.
See the planning board recommended against them keeping their norms on signs, I could see that.
Pardon me?
The planning board recommended against,
The Ontario County,
yeah. I believe so.
the Ontario County Planning Board recommended against.
Okay.
What are the other signs in the plaza?
One next to the redemption sign.
And nail salons,
Pardon me?
nail salons, I think.
was a little smaller, but it looked like a temporary sign.
Yeah, the redemption, yeah, but the nail salon fell similar to that, but it's kind of like smaller a little bit.
I think you have options to reduce it or take the word out or something. I don't think there are options.
Yeah, I take like the smoke shop part, just leave like Zaba convenience.
Yeah,
Maybe the letters I could just put them like close a little bit to each other.
yeah.
Did they, the sign's there, did they recommended that you have to change it, is covered it all, what you've already paid?
You mean the sign company?
Yeah.
Nah, I think I'm gonna have to pay them because they in Buffalo, so coming like all the way to Canada, change it. I'm gonna have to pay them.
Guess they really shouldn't recommend a sign and put it up for it.
Yeah, wouldn't they know how big it could be when you put it up?
They told him,
They did.
right? They told you how big it could be, and you said a little bit
They
bigger.
put it up anyway.
Yeah, they said it's the same size. Everything will be like you did what the same code says, but
They said this is within code?
yeah. So like, did he read the code and he did the same exact size?
So the board would like to see it smaller, is that accurate?
It's my position.
I guess we'll find out when we vote.
Yeah,
Well.
Yeah.
I mean. I guess if you're willing to take some of it off. Does that put it into compliance, Mike, or not?
Smoke shop, if you took off smoke shop, which is bigger, that's a little more, that's about 15 square feet, that wouldn't be enough.
also, you could push it a little bit closer, I think.
No, it's yeah, you can squeeze it all together you want, it's the actual size of the
Yeah.
letters, yeah.
Just from a code's point of view, I'm talking with the code officer, there was no permit ever issued for this to be installed. I know he's saying that the sign company said it was within code, but it was never checked with code enforcement or applied for a permit before it was put up, so.
Did you open the public hearing? Did you open the public hearing?
I haven't closed it.
Check.
I think we need to go ahead and see if there's comments and then it's like close it. And then go to the vote.
Yes.
Are there any comments from the audience? Are you comfortable with what you presented? We'll go ahead and we'll close the public hearing. We have 62 days to make a decision. We'll try and make a decision tonight. You know what?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome to stay, or you can call and recommend else. Next is Christopher Kerner, 3315 Dandelion Trail. Applicant is requesting a 4.49 rear setback variance for the installation of a pool deck where 10 feet is required and 5.5 feet is proposed.
Chip, can I just interject for a second? I just wanted to disclose that I live on 5 down the street in Dandelion Trail. We talked to, got some advice today and, I think I can vote objectively, but I just want to, if I don't, if something happens, I'll use myself, but I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay, so good point. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and do that here.
Okay, we just had the one exhibit here. We are attempting to add a pool to the deck currently, or
a deck to the pool. Currently, there is a plastic movable set of stairs to get in. You can see the pad for it right there. We located it on this side. We actually tried to put it on the other side, but given the fact that that's a walkout basement, that's approximately a 10-foot high deck there. And also the drain tile drains into that area between the existing deck and the pool. It seemed to be more of a nuisance to locate it there and kind of negated the benefit we'd be getting from the deck. So we decided we could try to move it back here, and the reason we chose the center there is because it backs up on the town land that is not currently developed and avoids any potential nuisance to the neighbors on either side.
Are you aware of any other? We've done a couple of variances in that.
Jamie Farmer, superintendent of schools. Yeah, is having the same situation. I don't know if it's the same.
I think, as I recall, there was one that we did that backed up to Buffalo Street. And then there was another one we did that was on the left-hand side of whatever the road going in is. Not both of them, I think, were rear setbacks. The lots are such that it makes it difficult to do too with them.
And currently the pool is sitting just inside the required setback, so short of building a 6-inch wide deck, there's really no way to do it without the variance on that side.
In the area behind is rubber wild, I don't know if that's the proper term.
Yeah, it's not like
Park area, yeah. So.
I'll stop with the other question. So putting it in directly behind keeps it away from both neighbors, both sides. And there is a drainage issue there.
Yes, the drain tile for the basement itself comes out into this area, and then there's also just the structural pieces for that deck there. So trying to site it in there, we'd have to come down off here, and we really couldn't figure out a way to do it short of a significant amount of engineering. So we figured the only two options were here and here, and we chose here just so that it would avoid any.
You would need a variance if you're going to put it on the side there.
It could also be hollering and shouting to the pool in your neighborhood yard.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Kelly, you okay? Any questions?
I'm good.
Good. Anyone in the audience have any comments or questions? It was closing the public hearing. Close the public hearing. For 62 days to make a decision. Sure. Okay, the last one here is let's see, Peter Reese, 4690 County Road 16. Applicants requesting a variance to permit a septic connection for a bathroom in an accessory building where connections are otherwise limited to electric, gas, and water.
Half it.
Pardon me?
Half it. Or the same.
Okay, yeah, bathroom.
Don't need a full bath.
Okay.
So the building, the accessory building is I'm calling it a barn, but half of it is place to park my van and storage, and the other half will be my wood shop. And the intent is to have a place to go to the bathroom in the shop without dragging all my junk into the house. It doesn't change the septic requirements. We only have a 2-bedroom house, and our septic system is geared for 3-bedroom house, so that doesn't change. It's just we've already got water there. I mean, so it's just adding drain line into it.
Interesting driveway to go up.
Yeah, well, yeah, 10% grade. You want to get off the road, you got
command a 10% grade.
So, I mean, the option of not doing it would require you to have to go back to the house.
Right.
This gets into, you know, we've had several of these. Similar thing.
Well, most times it's been a handicapped issue if it's been granted.
There's been at least one which wasn't a handicap.
And that was an office that was.
I think it's,
So. If building can show the barn.
It's the outbuilding over there.
Yeah, with the building built. Is this a single story barn, is this a two story barn, is there an upstairs? It's a single story barn.
That's a half bath. We look at these things because we're always worried that people are gonna set up and so that they'll have a second living space.
Yes. So to that point, you could not, this would never be able to be a living space. I mean, it would never pass egress. It backs into the hill, and so the walls of this are poured concrete. And there's only one window that opens, and so it would never meet any kind of living space requirements as far as egress and or amount of light required to become an apartment. So legally, it could never be an apartment.
the problem is it never is a long time. And the issues are, this is really just a matter of precedent. It's the same thing. If the town, and maybe they need to revisit this because there's a whole bunch of people that are looking for places to keep, you know, other places.
I would agree. I think the town does need to revisit this.
We have asked them how.
Yeah,
The town is also now allows accessory dwelling units.
Right, that was the other thing I was told. I could have an apartment there, but I can't have a bathroom in my barn. Okay.
and we're talking about half bathroom, so that's. not gonna be
Well, the question is, if the town is okay with it, we should be looking at a variance, right? And that's the issue. I mean, I totally understand, you know, where you're coming from. I'm just trying to. I can certainly see that everybody and their brother would say, I guess I have an accessory, I'd like to put a bathroom in my shop too, but I.
You know how to make it a variant or apply for a variance.
Well, there was actually a comment from the watershed inspector. Did you see that? That it basically said that, you know, if you're gonna prove it, just, it's only a half bath and they'd have to adjust, they'd have to expand to accommodate any living space. So if we approve it, is what it said.
We would have to expand.
Well, it's not gonna be living space.
Right, it's not, it's what they call I can't remember, they had a term. I just talked to the building inspector, and he called it, it's not a house, so I don't have to, it's a heated space, not a living space. There was a difference, because I asked him if I heated it, because I want the bathroom, and I want to heat the shop anyhow, would I have to have a blower test like the house? He said, no, because it's not a living space. You know, which was, I was fine, there was.
How did they look at that at all? I mean, we asked them a couple months ago.
Well, that's was part of the ADU stuff, that they want, you know, people have been doing this enough that they said, well, why don't you just make a law, we can build something on the property that is an extra principal structure, but lesser than the principal structure. So like he's saying, this is, it wouldn't pass muster for living space. You'd have to do major renovations. And then you'd have to come before us again and say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna turn this into an apartment. I'm gonna knock out these walls, put in windows, put it in, right?
Well, I think that the town has to address the issue. You want to have, you know, sewer in an an accessory structure. It's a totally different use. And that's the question. If the code right now is no, it makes it difficult to keep, you know, and if we say yes, how many people are gonna come in here and So certainly, it's justified request, but
I think you're right, it is something that needs to be specifically addressed, like we do with form-based code, with transparency. You know, that transparency is so outlandish, so many people are asking for variances. This would make sense to have, you know, a barn sink, a barn bathroom.
How do we go about, I mean, we've talked about it before, so how do we go about pushing it more?
So it's definitely on our list and our radar. This town attorney will probably agree with, we have been updating code a lot lately. It just hasn't gotten there yet. Town board has a list of codes that we would like to update, but each one takes time. And there's a process, so we take one at a time. We just completed an update of 170, which was a stormwater chapter. Again, not so much in variance wise, but there was a lot going on with it that had to be updated. That took us, I think, 4 or 5 months to update that chapter. So these things aren't something that we can just do.
This one is kind of one that could just be done. I know everyone wants to do them all at once, but this is a 4-line revision.
It is.
Why don't we send it to the ordinance? The zoning board has requested this.
I thought we had already done that.
But I don't think the ordinance committee has weighed in, but we can definitely, if is your request, we can push a little harder on it and send it to ordinance committee and have them rule on what they would like us to do, because that's coming from the town board at that point.
Specifically to allow a half bathroom and accessory structure.
Yeah.
Is that the right wording?
I mean, it's 1 line of code that needs to change, I think.
It is, but again, we're gonna look at the full chapter, make sure there's nothing else outstanding in that chapter.
well, how do we accommodate this resident here?
Well, that's under your purview.
Well, you could, yeah, I mean, you could accommodate it by.
Like I say, it seems absurd to me that I could, in that space, I have enough land, blah, blah, blah. I could put an apartment on my property, but I can't put a toilet in my heated shop. So just from a resident.
Code does not always.
We probably don't disagree.
It's absurd.
Well, and so I think that's the crux of the issue, and that's one of the reasons there's a zoning board. Is to provide relief in situations where there should be relief, subject to those 5 variance tests. I understand your point, that you always make this point, Dave, and it's well taken. I think you're correct to make the point. But it's not as if this town board is specifically making a policy statement about they don't want. You're right, is the answer, but.
Well, I mean,
the zoning board is allowed to give relief when it should be granted. And maybe this is one of those times, I don't know.
well, the problem is if you follow the 5, self-created, substantial, you probably could go right through the thing and probably say absolutely no if you followed it on that basis. So that's where we are, to me.
Well, substantial versus substantial might be more of a full bathroom.
Well, the question is, 1, it's not allowed, and B, you allow it. I'd say that's 100%.
It's your job, though.
Right.
You haven't allowed it, another.
The entire reason of the zoning.
Well, it's also a sensitive area too, so, you know, I mean, I definitely know where you're coming from, Dave, because I'm kind of in the same boat, but I understand the applicant as well. But what do we do in the meantime? I mean, are we gonna have a whole slew of people coming in? You know, I don't know. Is it right?
Well, if they're gonna change it, I don't.
How
think
how many people have you had try and get a variance?
A lot.
Take the generator situation, you know. We had so many people come up with, we need a generator, the grid's no good, we need a generator. So.
Well, I understand,
And the reason we changed laws because it came before us so many times and you have this debate over and over again. Why are we not doing it? Why are we making it better? So the law got changed. This is, from what my point of view, he's making a good case. Why should, he can have an ADU, but he can't have a toilet in his workshop? I would kill for a toilet in my workshop.
Well, and then that's the problem, until the town can come ahead and authorize this and make it part of, then otherwise, we do stand a chance of being inundated, just like we were with accessory structures in the front yard.
We're
You
gonna
know,
be
outside of the
inundated only if the town doesn't do anything.
Right.
If the town changes it, which I think.
Well,
Okay,
well,
then
we said my
But
piece.
no, Dave, I completely understand where you're coming from. This is the letter of the law. This is what you guys are supposed to, review through those 5 tests. and everything.
Well,
Because on one hand, we're not supposed to make the law, but on the other hand, like Chris is saying, you can give relief where it makes
Right.
sense to. So there's.
Technically, we're not supposed to be subjective, right? It's supposed to be interpret the code.
No, you're supposed to be subjective, I mean, you're performing a sort of a quasi judicial function.
Right.
If you were 100% objective, I could get AI to do your jobs,
Right.
or.
Probably will.
Yeah, right.
But no, I mean, this is, New York State law is set up to have a 5-member human board to weigh these factors. And
Right.
in a lot of situations, it could go either way. I don't know if this.
In this case, it is, I would say, probably more unique than the ones we've seen in the past as well.
Yeah.
I mean, in this regard, so.
But one of the reasons the United States Supreme Court allows for governments to provide zoning restrictions, because it's a restriction on your use of your property, is because every state in the union that has zoning requires a zoning board. If you're gonna have zoning, you need a zoning board of appeal to provide that relief valve to say, wait a minute, there's this rule, but there's reasons why it's okay to bend the rule, or alleviate the rule in certain situations, and why it's a human board that gets to exercise that judgment. Otherwise, it would just be,
Wrong.
Okay, anyone else? Are you comfortable with us closing the public hearing?
Yeah.
We have 62 days to make a decision. We'll do it tonight. Okay. You can give Mike a call in the morning. Okay, or you can wait.
Yes, thank you. That's more policies.
All right, nobody is waiting. So. Okay, Bunnell Road.
Stick around. Always stay tonight.
Yeah.
Nobody stuck around?
Nobody stuck around. You need to.
No, I don't.
Click.
I was desperately trying to.
Picture
click
of
on
Kelly.
it. Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any real problem with this one. I don't think. I understand what you're saying. I think they'd be pretty limited in what they could do in terms of a subdivision, despite other areas.
I don't have a real problem either, and then they worked with the development office and. So.
How close is this to the other parcel?
I was wondering the same thing.
Oh, it's the other side of town, way across.
No, they're both Cheshire.
Yeah, no, but it's the
The
other
other
side of town.
Oh, it's the other side of town.
This is on the southwest.
They're miles
on the
apart, they're not
northeast.
like right next to each
Okay, very good.
Yeah, it's not.
The other side of the street.
Well, that's farther north. Okay. Go on. Call the question.
Sure. Shall the requested variance be granted? Jason,
Yes.
Dave,
No.
Kelly,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
John,
No.
Passed 3-2.
Wait, there's no CPV? Can we just confirm?
Yeah, we'll go from that. If you guys want to continue and I'll put that.
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't think there was either, but no, second best.
All right, as depicted in the descriptions and drawings provided at this meeting, benefit to the applicant does outweigh the detriment to the neighborhood and community. Board's decision based on the facts as presented. Okay.
You got R-130 lots, 10 R-130 lots immediately adjacent
Right.
to the parent parcel. You've got, did he have 10 neighbors?
There were a lot of.
Yeah, there's lots of neighbor support. Neighborhood support.
It allows the rest of the property to remain in agriculture. That's, guess it is a significant. So they're hearing something versus 30s.
That whole area over there is kind of challenged anyways, but I mean, the preservation of farmland was kind of the biggest point, I think, right?
The presence of the stream would limit development certainly on the east side of it. Yeah. Anything else?
Condition though, if you would be so kind, I would recommend that you condition the variance on a subdivision application being granted by the town within 1 year. Makes sense. And if it's not, it expires, the variance is no longer valid.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's not like they have to build anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're good with the common plan.
Sorry, I just the step to go from them.
Okay, and the next one's continued. Rochester Point Drive.
I don't think it's a huge variance and.
Yeah, there's not a lot of the other place you could put it. There are next door, there's a storage shed in front of their front yard. I mean, could they do it? They could add on to the garage. I guess you're balancing, what might be 10,000 or some dollars versus granting a variance.
But have we denied any sheds in the front yard? I mean, that's kind of one of those things that we kind of scrutinize over. The lot is weird, obviously, but
I don't think
We actually passed one recently.
Yeah, I don't think we have. Can't think of any front yard that we have denied.
It's so strange in the RLD anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about frontage, but it's.
I think there was one we talked the people out of there, I think, but.
We just granted a guy for a shed in his backyard.
Yeah.
On the lakeside. Right.
where in the world, like, where would it be in the backyard? Like, looking at that picture, where is technically the backyard? Is that the lake? I thought the lake was, okay. Got it.
Yeah. Okay, want to vote? All questions?
Shall the variance request for relief from the requirement that accessory structures be located in the side yard and relief from the maximum permitted size of an accessory structure be granted? Jason,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Okay, as depicted in the drawings and descriptions provided here, benefit to the applicant does outweigh the detriment to the neighborhood. board decisions based on facts as presented tonight. I guess the size and orientation of the lot makes it very difficult to put it in the backyard or side yard, right? It's no side yard.
Plus, we don't want structures too close to the lake anyway.
Right. It's not a substantial variance. Well, I mean, front versus back, I guess is essential. But I think it keeps in, there are other similar sheds in the neighborhood in front yards. And the variance for size is not a significant one, really. I know I've had a 10 by 10 shed. You can't get much in there. 10 by 4 feet length would add a whole lot of utility and space for them.
Well, considering if he'd added on to the garage, it could have been substantially bigger than.
Right, yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big cost, right?
Well, yes, but I'm,
Yeah.
No.
easy to spend other people's money, John.
Be conditioned on as it's presented, did that, but have to be done in a year. Okay, next is the 3315 Damland Trail,
The 2033 stable gate.
Yep.
Sorry?
Skipped one.
2033 stable gate.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Never mind. I really skipped a bunch. Okay, Stablegate.
We granted the last one, this one.
Certainly not a large variance of
No.
No, I hate to nitpick, but I mean, he could avoid the variance pretty easily. I mean, I don't know what this gate is, but it's,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna nitpick.
Or hate to nitpick?
Says
I want to, but I.
You'll pick your name.
It's arresting and control.
Yeah. So for 3 feet, yeah, I'm good with it myself.
Call the question.
Sure. Shall the variance request for relief from the side setback requirements for accessory structures be granted? Jason,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes,
Kelly,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
John?
Yes. As depicted in the descriptions and drawings provided tonight, benefit to the applicant does outweigh the detriment to the neighborhood. It's not a significant variance.
It's in character with the neighborhood.
Yes. And placement of the shed, I think, is affected somewhat by the slope of the backyard. This is where it would be minimal slope.
doesn't seem to be any complaint from the neighbors.
Right, and we have a letter of support from the neighbor that would be most affected. And just as presented tonight, and 1 year. Any opposed? Now, 406 Route 5-1 sign.
This is the board's aware, the county planning did deny this, and you need a super majority of your own control.
Right. I'm against it. I don't. I think they should have tried to follow the rules from the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. He also didn't really try to.
Sounds like he didn't even care. He just threw it
He probably was ticked off that they told him to do it.
Yeah. Or he told them to do, yeah. Cycle.
Hey, he didn't demonstrate any. Hardship or need. So.
That's it.
Oh, my goodness.
Question?
Sure. Shall the variance request be granted? Jason,
No.
Dave,
No,
Kelly,
No.
Chip,
No.
John?
No.
Based on the description and drawings provided tonight, the benefit to the applicant does not outweigh the detriment to the neighborhood. Therefore, it's denied. I think you can certainly do what he wants to do with a smaller sign. As I said before, and this doesn't have to linger, but the script on those things really is not a clear thing, I don't think, at least not for me.
I don't know that the Zava is quite as significant as a convenience store, but
You don't even need the convenience.
a smoke shop, I guess.
From the way all the stuff is in the window there on that last went by today. I mean, it certainly is emphasizing the smoke shop part of it. Okay. All right, now Dandelion Trail.
Chris, can I have to ask you a question? Can I, the only reason can I disclose the name of the individual that we did grant a variance for this exact same use?
You know,
Well, it's Jamie Farr is, I'm pretty sure he's in your neighborhood over there.
Yeah,
And I don't know whether he ever did the pool or whatever.
that was the one that backs up to
To the green space.
Yeah, he's got a.
it's identical to this then?
Pretty much, exactly. That's why I wanted to,
Okay. then-
I don't know where it is or.
If this passes, I think you would cite that in your,
I don't remember that.
You
wouldn't
wouldn't have
remember that
to,
either.
wouldn't have to say specifically. I remember
Might have
it,
been before.
but his backyard backed up to a thin green space.
I don't know,
And the
you could
road.
probably find it because I think it's right around the corner. here,
It's
but
up to the park too. Yes.
I'm pretty sure he was trying to get a rear setback for to get into the green space or, actually.
There's a couple,
Can we find it?
there's two in-ground pools up there that are probably pushing, they're probably close to.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Mine,
Well, maybe Fars wasn't the one I was thinking of. There was one, I'm sure, that backed up to Buffalo Street.
We had some fence issues along there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Jamie Farrs was the pool. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up.
I don't know, we have to say specifically.
You don't have to, you could if
Just
you
that-
wanted to.
Character of the neighborhood.
I mean, I think-
Just saying.
I think your variance tests are satisfied here to go through them.
Yeah.
I think you can also cite and kind of rely on.
Well, character of the neighborhood, if nothing else, I'm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, you can say, well, okay, let's see, is it a significant variance?
Roughly 5 feet. That's, not 9 but.
The property backs up to public spaces, so it's not impinging on anyone else. The location is limited by the lockout basement.
Good vote on it.
Pardon?
Well, we're gonna vote on it, so.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to justify my mind. All right, should we call the question?
Sure.
Yes.
Shall the requested 4.49 foot rear setback variance be granted? Dave,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes,
Chip,
Yes.
John?
Yes.
I'll take that too.
Oh, did you recuse yourself?
No.
Oh, you
I
did,
just
I'm
didn't
sorry.
mind.
I thought you said
I
you
didn't
recused
have
yourself on this one.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter anyway, but yeah.
she's been paying attention this whole time. That was a long time ago, you said.
Not long meeting. As depicted in the descriptions and drawings provided tonight, benefit, the applicant does outweigh the detriment to the neighborhood. It's based on facts as presented during the public hearing. I think granting the variances in keeping them with the character of the neighborhood. I think we can say in similar variances have been, granted before. Location of the platform or deck is influenced by the area available, I guess. And minimizes its impingement on either neighbor. So the only conditions would be as presented, then be done what it is. Okay. 4690 County Road 16. Did anybody go up there? I stupidly decided I'd go up there. And got up there and realized I couldn't turn around. I had to back down this thing. It's just a curving thing that's really narrow. It drops off on both sides. So it took me a while. I was very careful. Anyway, I personally don't have a problem with granting this. Again, I think we have to say once again that this needs to be looked at by the town.
I feel the same way.
I mean, we've had several, but we haven't had a huge number of them. I think the fact that it's a half bath makes a big difference. That certainly keeps it from being a living space.
I just think it's easy to make a half bath into a whole bath real quick. And I just think it needs to be addressed by the town.
Oh, I
And
totally-
as soon
totally
as
agree.
the town says, go, I'll go. Guys.
Because I always feel that I don't think we should penalize an applicant because the town hasn't moved on it.
He wouldn't be the first, but I do agree that it wouldn't be, it could go either way, but.
Yeah.
Are we ready to vote? Kelly?
Shall the,
Again,
shall the requested variance be granted? Jason,
Yes.
Dave,
No,
Kelly,
yes,
Chip,
Yes.
John.
Yes. As depicted in drawings and descriptions presented tonight, the benefit to the applicant does outweigh the detriment to the neighborhood based on the facts as presented during the public hearing. Okay. I think it's really putting in a half bath, is that a major answer? I mean, it doesn't, there will have no effect on the neighborhood or any environmental effect.
we should definitely put a restriction that it has to be maintained as a half bath or something. In that regard, if we could put wording on it.
Well, I think certainly the fact that it's half bath, I mean, let's say the town changes what it says. As they've said, it might be able to be made into a full bath at that time. The topography of the land limits it being a habitable area, I guess, because of not being able to put adequate windows in the back.
well, the problem you got is if you go through the 5, you can't justify this. So under what, circumstances do you say that you authorize this? And it's an adjudicating board, so I'm not saying this isn't the right decision, but the
I
point
think you
is.
can go through the 5 and justify it. It's gonna impact gonna change the character of the neighborhood.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, I'm not saying it's all 5 are kicked out, but is it substantial? Is it self-created? Well,
self-created doesn't negate it though.
No, but I'm saying that. Look, it's already been voted for. I'm just saying this is a different
I don't think it,
world right here.
it will have no effect on the neighborhood character.
No, and it's very much subjective because.
What about if you hadn't changed the septic tank?
I was just gonna say,
What if the septic
yeah,
tank is
if
big?
it was attached on the septic tank, that would be substantial.
Yeah, if it was attached to a septic tank, I think.
Well, it is.
Yeah. But.
Yeah, but you're not adding, if it
The
was,
septic tank is big enough to.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to accommodate.
I mean, if it was a barn going in,
Nick,
and you could make 3 or 4 apartments out, of it, then I would be concerned. But if it's a little wood shop, and you already got running water, and the septic tank's not gonna change, that's why I voted yes. I mean, if it was a bigger building, I could see.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I think that would be one of the reasons we should put in there is the septic system as designed has capacity for the.
Yeah, and you already have running water in the building, right? I mean, you use the, I mean, but if it was a bigger building where you have a potential to put apartments in there, even though they're saying they're not going to, then I would go with no on it. But
Well, again, the topography of the lot limits what can be done there. I can build it. Be enough. But now, do I need to send a letter to the committee or?
I've already taken care of that, but I will have the minutes. That you're already been added to the agenda for the ordinance committee to review, but I just need the minutes to provide in that on the agenda.
Okay.
Even though they'll be your draft minute, but that's.
Yeah, well, maybe we should put a codicil that this has to be held up with approval on this and subject to the approval of the ordinance committee.
You wouldn't know, you don't get a say.
But it has to be done within a year.
Well, the reason I voted yes was just for the reason that he said too, that like he can build something else, a whole different structure, and where he's asking for just half a bath. So that was also like, because it was enough property, right? It wasn't like he was, that was my reasoning anyway.
Okay, any referrals from the town manager, the ordinance committee? Any other business as required? Who's available next month?
I should be.
Because I think Shannon's not gonna be again.
You're good.
Yeah,
I should be here, I think, maybe.
I don't go anywhere.
Okay, we should be all right, I think.
All right. I can always Zoom if I do.
Okay.
We go down to South Carolina.
Approval of the meeting.
Yeah, I've got another grandson, I should go down there.
There a motion to reapprove last month's minutes?
Just make a motion, take second.
Second. All in favor?
I
All right. I met with Tyler because I was having trouble getting to the town. We have a town mailbox and things. He did a neat thing, which I could never do, but he gave me a shortcut right up on the top of my, page that comes up.
Okay,
Just push that and it automatically goes right to the mailbox.
yeah.
You probably know how to do this.
Yeah, the only way that my town email is I can only get to it on my personal computer, which I rarely use.
Yeah.
I've never even tried to access it.
Well, there is a request that you do a cybersecurity course.
Wonderful,
I
wonderful.
think Kelly is perfectly secure.
Hey, my system is actually completely secure.
Yeah.
My system is probably more secure, honestly. So,
So at some point, they may require you to do that.
So much for
Well,
your
I'll
job
go
review.
look.
Yeah.
I do cybersecurity training on a regular basis anyway, so, you know,
You should be able to pass it then.
I should be fine.
I passed it.
Yeah.
Anything else, anybody know? German motion?
I feel like I've caused enough trouble.
Kelly,
I
Kelly,
motion.
Second. All three of us, we're out. Thank you.
well done. There's a lot.
All right, see you guys.
Bye, Kelly.
Look at that guy's got a lot of money.